What's up, guys? It's me again, Christian Rodriguez, and I want to continue kind of want to add into yesterday's video that I posted, and I talked about why every man needs to be on a mission. But today I want to talk about um, the things you're going to face when you're on a mission, right? And like this is like early on, right? Early on in your mission, like the obstacles you're going to face, right? And this is like currently what I'm facing now, right? So I'll give you an example. Today's Thanksgiving, right? Thanksgiving is, if you're from the U.S., it's a very big American holiday. Like you have a feast. You have a big turkey in the middle of the table. You have food. You have all these types of desserts that are delicious. Um, you spend a day maybe watching some football. Like the Detroit Lions play the Packers at noon today, right? Then the 4 o'clock game, the 4:30 game is the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know who they play, but they always play every year. And I don't even know who the night game is, but there's a night game at like 8:30. So basically, you get a marathon of football. You spend the entire day eating, right? And you might get a little drunk, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? But if you're on a mission, right, and you got to get to the next level, right? That's what you're focusing on. I know that's what I'm focusing on, right? I do think it's kind of counterintuitive to do it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but this is not for most people. This video, this is for like the very few. But that's the thing. Like I moved to Chicago, right? I have family in another state, and I know for a fact that I'm gonna have to. My family already wants me to come back for Christmas, right? And the thing that I mentioned is that I have my goals. Like I know what I have to do, right? And I'm gonna be doing it all winter. Maybe summertime I might slow down a little bit and do something else. Maybe in the summertime I might make room for like some things so I keep my sanity. But the wintertime I'm really focused on me, right? And it's almost like being selfish, right? You have to be selfish, right? When you're young, right, in your 20s, especially in your 20s. I think in your 20s you need to be as selfish as possible, right? But if I'm going to every holiday gathering, I'm going to every single event, right? That's not going to help. That's not going to help me in my goals. Just being completely honest here. And people always talk about balance and everything in moderation. Like you need balance. And think about it. Like if there was, say, my arm is a line, right? And I needed a ball here, right? Right. If I put the arm like this, the ball's gonna fall that way. If I put my arm like this direction, it's gonna fall that way. So in order for the ball to balance, I have to keep it in the middle. And the middle means average, right? Like middle class, average, regular. And that's the thing. It's just going to keep you where you are now. And if you're not happy from where you are now, then you're going to have to make sacrifices. And those sacrifices are going to consist of things like working on Christmas, working on Thanksgiving, working on holidays, probably missing the Super Bowl, right? Not going to the Super Bowl party. And I'm not saying that life is all about working 24/7, but you kind of have to do a lot of it to get the results you want out of life, right? If you're ambitious, especially in your 20s, because in your 20s, if you're focused on getting a girlfriend, right? I had a girlfriend. So just so you guys know, I had a girlfriend in my earlier 20s for 2 years. I'm going to tell you right now, it's the biggest waste of time. First of all, if you don't have money yet, you're going to be spending all of it, right? You're not going to you're going to spend all your money. You're going to be spending money on dates, cute outings, cute vacations. And there's nothing wrong with it. That's what she's going to want to do. But just letting you know, you're spending it. And even if it's 50-50, equal partnership, whatever it is, right? Gender equality, you're still going to be spending 50% of that money on stuff that you could have been spending on yourself, stuff that could have benefited you. So just remember that, right? And that's the thing, right? There's always going to be some shit going on, right? And you have to be willing to like almost offend people, right? You're going to offend people doing this. This is not for the faint of heart. Most people are not going to do this, right? Like, this is not for everyone. So I don't recommend it. If you're not really like serious about doing this, I don't recommend it. Like, you have to have like a real reason why you want to do this. But if you have a real reason for doing this and you're doing this now, or you plan on doing it in the near future, I'm just letting you know that you're gonna offend everyone. People aren't gonna understand you. People are just not gonna. Oh, why don't you do a regular job? Like, what? Why are you creating content online? Or why are you going for a business? It's like, isn't that risky? Like, why don't you just get a job like everyone else, right? Why don't you get a job like Jerry, who's fat, who has an ugly wife, and still and lives a very unfulfilling life, at least the way I would describe it, right? Why don't you get a job like Jerry? And you're like, no, I don't want a job like Jerry's. I don't want anything like Jerry, actually. I don't want Jerry's life. I hate Jerry's life. I would hate it. And the thing is, people won't understand, and that's fine. But just remember that on days like this, right? Days like Thanksgiving, holidays, these are the days that like add up, right? These are the separator days, weekends, because days that everyone's like taking a day off, like watching football or, like drinking, whatever, and there's nothing wrong with it, right? These are the days that you can like compound. These days add up. So if you're working on these days as well, right? Maybe you're creating content, maybe you're working on your business. Maybe you have a job that it's a factory job and you can work on holidays, right? Maybe you got one of those. Then I recommend you just grind, just do it. I would say this is the time to do it, especially if you're in your 20s. Just be selfish. Do what's right for your goals. Don't feel pressured. Don't feel that you need to make other people feel good, right? Just so you can compromise your goals. Like, don't do that. You got to go after your stuff, right? Because at the end of the day, when you're flying a plane, right? What is the airplane? What do they usually say? They say before you help other people, you have to put your mask on first, right? Don't help someone else first. Put your mask on first, the oxygen mask, and then help the person next to you if they need help, right? They say that because if you say you don't put your oxygen mask first and then you try to help the other person and you guys are both struggling and then guess what happens? Two people are dead instead of one or none, right? So if you put your mask on, then you're helpful. If you don't put your mask on, then you're dead and you're not helpful to anyone, right? And that's obviously that's a metaphor, but there's a real meaning behind it, right? You need to put your own mask on before you can start helping other people. And the thing is, people will expect you to put their mask on, for you to put their mask on for them, right? And what you have to do is focus on your own mask, right? And then when you have your mask on and you're in a better position, that's when you can start helping other people and putting their mask on for them because you're in that position and you know that you did the work to get to where you want to be. And that's the thing. If you cave into like little things like this, like pressures, like calendar pressures, it's gonna screw it up. It's gonna slow you down. It's gonna slow down your mission, right? So you need a strong mission. You need to be willing to deal with doing all this shit. Yeah, if you have to work on, if you have to say no to Christmas, if you have to say no to Christmas dinner, you have to say no to all these birthday parties, then I would do it. I would do it just at least for the time being. It's not about for a long time, but it's short-term discomfort for long-term dominance, right? You could live and you could also experience a better version of it, right? Maybe you do the work, right? You put in work and maybe you decide to do Christmas in a luxurious resort in Hawaii or something. I just made that up, but you do Christmas in a luxurious resort somewhere in Hawaii. Maybe that's even more fun, and you can afford to bring your entire family with you, and you can fly first class. You have a turkey, and you have like a culinary team that cooks the turkey and the stuffing and all the Thanksgiving dinner stuff for you, right? And you enjoy it even more. That might be even a better experience for you and your family, right? And that's from making sacrifices of not doing Thanksgiving, right? And now you make those sacrifices. Now you can live life on your own terms long term. Short term, you might make other people feel good, and you're also compromising your goals. So nothing gets done, right? You're still broke. You're still out of shape, right? Whatever it is. So yeah, just remember that. When it comes to balance, when people tell you that you need to live a balanced life, just remember that's bullshit. Because if you I'm in Chicago, so if you look at outside the United Center, right? I know there's a statue up front in front of it with Michael Jordan. Do you think Michael Jordan was balanced? Do you think that statue is built because Michael Jordan was balanced? Of course not. Of course he wasn't balanced. So, but I'm gonna leave it at that. Appreciate you guys for watching. I'm gonna keep creating more content. Subscribe and take care.